Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm doing another mukbang, and both of these items or these foods are homemade, so I'm super excited to try them. I will leave the recipes in the description for you guys if you guys want to try to make them. I did make some minor tweaks to each recipe, and I'll put that in the description as well, just in case you want to make it exactly how I made it. But yeah, I'm so excited. So I have fettuccine alfredo, chicken fettuccine alfredo, and then cookie dough cheesecake. I was craving cheesecake and I was craving like a cheesy pasta. I mean, let's be real though, like when am I not craving a cheesy pasta or cheesecake? But I just felt like they would go well together for this video, so I decided to try to make them. Yeah, I'm actually not even gonna keep talking anymore. I'm gonna start eating because I'm freaking starving. I'm gonna do this first before it cools down. Okay, do you see the steam coming off of it though? Like, it's hot. So this has Romano, Parmesan, Asiago cheese in it, which I know is not like traditional fettuccine. Also Boursin cheese, like the garlic and herb. Oh my god. And I also know it's not like traditional fettuccine. I actually bought these noodles specially for this because I wanted, like, I love this kind of noodle. I don't really like eating with long noodles because it feels very, like, I don't know, I just haven't mastered the art of it. I like shorter noodles and I like curly noodles. And so I scoured the internet for noodles that I could buy that are like this, and I finally found some. I'll link them as well for you guys if you want to try them. And they're made in Italy and they're delicious, so. I felt like a Diet Coke would go well with this. But also, again, like, what doesn't a Diet Coke go well with? That hits the spot. I've been trying not to drink them as much, which is funny because I've had them in both of my last videos. But I've been trying not to drink them as much, so I feel like I wanted to treat myself. This pasta is like a 10 out of 10. I decided I wanted to add the Boursin cheese myself because I had Boursin cheese recently. I made this dip for like this Halloween thing with Boursin cheese, and I forgot how good it is. Like, it's so good. And I was like, you know what? That's gonna go amazing in the fettuccine because it's very garlicky and very creamy. Wow. Okay, so I don't even know how I'm gonna go about eating this. I guess I'm just going to, oop, okay, not gonna do that. I will just go like this. I'm a little nervous to see what the inside, oh my gosh, looks like. Wow, okay. What's going on here? Is the crust too hard? Hold on, y'all. Oh my god. My fork just broke. Hold on. I think I might have packed the graham cracker crust a little too tight. Okay, finally got some out. And it's not even that hard. So I don't know why I was having such a fiasco cutting it. But it's really not that hard, so. Okay, so layer by layer, there's a graham cracker crust. Then just underneath that, or just above that, is a chocolate chip cookie dough layer. And then there's also some chocolate chips and some chocolate chip cookie dough like throughout the cheesecake. Then there's cookie dough on top, chocolate chip cookie dough with Chips Ahoy cookies, which are my favorite cookies. I've just like cut them in half and used them to decorate. And then there is a chocolate whipped cream. The crust is actually so bomb. It's like very chewy and thick. And then for today's video topic, I wanted to do a video, which I think I bit off more than I can chew, because I was thinking of telling multiple stories in this video, but I think I'll just do one or maybe two. It depends on like how quickly I get through them. But I wanted to tell some like customer service stories. The job that I had before this job that I have now, I was a barista. And let me tell you, like working with the general public, it's fun, but like you meet some fucking weirdos and you're just like, but the first story that I'm going to tell is kind of almost like a dating story mixed with a customer service story, because I met this guy at the coffee stand that I worked at, and then things just got weird from there. And what actually like made me think about telling this story. So I still work at the stand sometimes, like 1 weekend a month. Usually I work at the stand, and more if they need to fill in. He actually just came by recently to get coffee with a girl that I think he was on a date with. And I literally wanted to be like, girl, don't do it. Like, don't do it. But like, I would look insane if I did that. So that's what made me think about telling these stories. So anyways, I met him obviously while I was working at the stand. And it's connected to a grocery store, the coffee stand is. So it's like right out front. And the way that he like introduced himself to me, he didn't even get coffee. I thought it was very sweet at the time. There's like a nice little florist, because it's like a small grocery store. So it's very like small business type market. Anyways, there's like a florist in there, and he went in there and he got me a lily, and he just brought me out a lily. Like I'd never talked to him before, but he just brought it out to me as like, which looking back, unfortunately, I feel like when men do stuff like that, it's like love bombing. and you wish that you could just be like, oh, that's so sweet. But it's almost naive to think that, because it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm jaded. Maybe I'm jaded. But he got me a lily and we started talking, and I closed at the time. So this was a night shift from like 1 to 7. So it was pretty slow. Like, obviously people don't get coffee as much at night. And so I had time to like sit and talk with him. We probably talked for like 30 minutes maybe. And we connected over bodybuilding, because he's kind of into bodybuilding too. And at the time I was eating my meal prep, like for dinner, just like chicken and rice and whatever. So he asked me like if I was into working out. And anyways, we talked. I ended up giving him my number. And the next morning he texts me. And I don't remember what the conversation was. Like, not specifically. It was just super generic. Like, hey, good morning. I don't even know. Like, something like that. I wasn't like super excited about this guy. Like, if I was super excited about him, I'd remember exactly what he texted me, like to a T. But it was more just like, he's kind of cute. We have something in common, and he got me a flower. So it's like, I'll just see where it goes, like if it's worth it or not. So anyways, he texted me the next morning. Like, per se, the text thread goes like, hey, good morning. And I go like, hey, good morning. It was nice to meet you yesterday. And then he goes something like, yeah, it was great to meet you too, babe. Like, called me babe, okay? And at that point, I'm like, you know what? No. Like, I feel like if you're a woman, you get it. Like, getting called babe when we've talked for 30 minutes, this is our first text. It's like the second text you send me, you call me babe. And like, it could just be a term he calls people maybe, but like, I just wasn't into it. I was like, that's... no, it just, to me, is a red flag. I turned out to be right, by the way. I turned out to be right, because you'll see he just turns into like a total fucking psycho. And so I just stopped replying, because I'm like, I'm not responding to that. Like, no, I'm not. Like, we're not doing that. And so then I'm actually just going to eat one of these. So these are the chocolate chip cookie dough balls. I like heat treated the flour so it's not raw. But it tastes just like cookie dough. So then I don't reply. And the next day he texts me again, and he goes something like, I would love to get to know you and take you out sometime, or something like that. Obviously, I'm not interested at this point. Like, I don't want to go out with him. And so I reply, and I say something like, thank you. It was great to meet you, but I'm not interested in dating at this time. But, like, thank you, and, like, whatever. Like, trying to be, like, sweet or nice about it and not, like, blame. Like, I just didn't want to be like, you called me babe, I'm not interested now. Like, I didn't want to even say anything like that. I just felt like saying I wasn't interested in dating would be like, fine. You would think that that would be the end of it. Unfortunately, was not. And so then to reply to that, he goes, wow. And I just didn't reply to that again, because it's like, what do you want me to say? And so then like an hour later, he texts me again, and he goes, I thought we had a good connection. Okay, like, can you imagine? Like, I like to flip situations around. Like, I'm imagining myself like asking out a guy, getting his number, texting him, then asking him to hang out, and him being like, oh, I'm not really interested in dating, but like, thank you. And me being like, I thought we had a good connection. Like, cringe. Like, absolutely not. Never in a million years. Like, take the L. And because now you're just proving my point. Like, now you're proving to me like, oh, I made actually the best decision ever by not going out with you. Like, thank you for showing your true colors so soon, because now I don't even regret. Because in the back of my head, I'm always like, well, maybe I'm being too picky, you know? Like, whenever I would date someone and like find a reason to not want to date them anymore, I'd always be like, well, maybe I'm being too picky. And then it's like, well, no, thank you so much actually for showing me almost immediately that I'm not being too picky and that you're actually just a fucking weirdo. And so, again, I don't reply to that either, because it's like, again, what do I say to that? I'm just like, I'm not interested at all in like talking to him or communicating with him. Like, there's nothing there. Like, you thought we had a good connection. We talked for 30 minutes and then I said I wasn't interested. Like, you know? So like I said, I don't reply to that. I just like leave it as is. So I don't see him. I don't even know how much longer this is after. Maybe like a week later, maybe 2 weeks. He comes by when I'm working to get coffee this time, which I know when he comes up, I'm like, so this is just like a reason to talk to me, which isn't the end of the world. Like, it's whatever. Like, I would prefer for someone who like got rejected by me and then was weird about it to not come get coffee from me, but I like can't prevent you from doing it. So he walks up and first of all, he orders a Frappuccino, which like, tell me why every man that would get like a blended Frappuccino was always so difficult. Not always, but like 80% of them were so difficult. Like, it's like a weird thing where like a guy who gets a Frappuccino is just like a dick. Like, it is what it is. So he wants to get a Frappuccino. But it's like a weird power play thing he's doing where he's like drawing out his order. It's not like he comes up and is like, hey, can I get a 20-ounce Frappuccino, this flavor, thank you. It's like, I don't know what flavor I want. And I'm like, well, what flavor do you normally get? He's like, well, I usually do Irish cream, which I remember because I was like, that's random. I don't think I've ever made an Irish cream Frappuccino in my life until then. And he's like, well, usually I do Irish cream. And I was like, well, I can do that. I mean, it's good with caramel. It's good with English toffee. It's good with white chocolate. Like, I can do any of those. So I forget what he settled on. But then he goes, well, I don't know what size I want to get. I was like, well, this size has this many shots. This size has that many shots, blah, blah, blah. And then he finally decides. But it just felt like he was trying to draw out the interaction. Something about it felt like he knew he had been rejected. I feel like he knew, he was self-aware enough to know it had something to do with him. And he's gonna like force me to interact with him. It's like, it's hard to describe, but it just felt like he was trying to impose his presence in like an alpha way. Like, I'm gonna like make her work for this drink. I don't know, it's hard to describe. So then I finally make his drink and and then he goes, so you have me a little confused. Like, that's what he starts with. You have me a little confused. And I was like, about what? Like, trying to play dumb? And he was like, well, I would like an explanation because I thought we had a good connection, but now you say you're not interested in dating. Like, again, I like to flip the situation around. The thought of me getting rejected by a guy and then going to his work and being like, I need an explanation. Like, I thought we had a good connection. Like, insane psycho behavior. Crazy. And I was like, and like, I was nice about it. And I feel like that's like one place where I went wrong here. Is I feel like I was like too nice to this guy. Like, I gave him too much leeway. And I should have just probably been like, almost like a bitch. Like, just been like, fuck off, you know? But I think part of it was like, I knew I was going to have to see him because in our conversation, he had told me that like he lives in the area. So that's his grocery store. So it's like, I knew that I was going to have to see him because I work right out front. And I also am like in customer service mode, you know? So it's not like I'm just like on the street and it's some random guy. It's like I'm at work. It just felt like I needed to be like probably nicer to him than I should have been. The sweet and savory combo is hitting so hard. But at this point, I'm like kind of rude. I'm like, I don't owe you an explanation. Like, that's what I said. I'm like, I don't owe you an explanation. Okay, so unfortunately, my audio cuts off here and is completely unintelligible. So just a brief recap of what I'm talking about here. So as I just said in the video, he has come to my work and he's asking me for an explanation as to why I don't want to go on a date with him, because as he keeps saying, he thought we had a good connection. So at first I tell him that I don't owe him an explanation on that. And he rebuts with, well, actually you do. Because like I said, I thought we had a good connection and now you're telling me you're not interested in dating. Basically phrasing it as though like I led him on in our initial conversation. And at that point, like there's no one around, it's late at night, there's no customers in line that I can be like, oh, sorry, I have to help this person, like I'll have to talk to you later. So I end up telling him that I had recently gotten out of a relationship and that I wasn't ready to begin dating yet, which is kind of true. I had recently stopped talking to someone, but to say that I wasn't ready to begin dating yet is a total stretch. I was really just saying that because I could tell he was like so insecure and unstable that I really was just, I didn't want to upset him more than he was already upset. And he ends up responding something to the effect of, well, I recently just got out of a relationship too. Trying to say it in a way like it's not that big of a deal or we're in the same boat so we can kind of like do this together. And at that point, I just say that I have to go to the back and do dishes to start closing because there's no end to this conversation in sight. He's like backed me into a corner here. Basically, nothing I say is going to be good enough for him. So I walk away from him at that point. And after that, I don't really hear from him. Well, I'll explain how I do hear from him kind of, but I don't really hear from him in the sense of him harassing me for a few months. Normal people don't do this. Like, normal people don't go to someone's work and like demand answers as to why they've been rejected, you know? So after that, I don't really hear from him for a little bit, but he'll randomly text me like, and I feel like, you know how back in the day when you had like a flip phone or whatever, you could send a mass text by like adding a bunch of people to whatever you were going to send, almost like an email, like a mass email. The texts he would send me, I would feel like were like that. I never replied to these. I didn't block him or anything, but I just never replied to these. He sent me like a bunch of photos from a wedding he went to, like photos of him in the wedding, and then photos of him at the wedding, like cropped though, like cropped, so you could see him. You know what I mean? Like he was trying to send me photos of himself. Okay, guys, so I just went to change out my SD card, and I realized that it appears that for the last part of the story, my mic was not recording for some reason, even though it was like all the way up to that point. And I didn't touch anything. So I have no idea what happened. I feel like I'm cursed when it comes to technology, but I'm just going to finish the rest of the story, even though I technically already finished the mukbang. Anyways, so he's texting me that stuff. Like he's texting me pictures of him at a wedding. He's texting me a picture of like his breakfast and like the view from his apartment. He texts me a bunch of heys, like again, just like so bland, just like hey. I swear to God, like it feels like he's just sending a mass text to like every female name in his contacts. Like it's just like a numbers game to him. So anyways, I don't respond to any of them. And I also don't see him anymore because I used to work at night, but then I had been promoted to manager, so I was working in the mornings. So I luckily like did not see him at all, because I think he would always go grocery shopping at night. So I didn't see him for like months, except one Saturday afternoon. He goes into the grocery store, and like I don't see him because I'm in the back, like at the very, very back of the grocery store is where we would keep all of our supplies for like restocking stuff. And I don't see him, but like as I'm walking out, like with my cart full of stuff, I see him walking in, and I'm getting ready to like turn down an aisle to avoid him, but then he turns down an aisle, and I'm not sure if he saw me or not. So I'm like, okay, perfect. He's going down an aisle. I can walk by, and like the coast is clear. When I'm walking by that aisle, he pops out. Like I swear he was waiting for me. Like I feel like he walked down that aisle to like lure me into a false sense of security and safety. And then as soon as I'm walking by, he pops out to speak to me, basically like trapping me. And so he pops out and he goes, "Sup, Casper?" And at first I was like, what do you mean? Like I literally thought at first that he was calling me pale. I was like, not him bullying me and calling me pale. Like, is it that bad? Like, but I was like, what do you mean? And he's like, well, I text you, you never respond, so you basically ghosted me, or like you've gone ghost on me, or something corny like that. Like, it's just corny. And so again, like part of me wishes that I would have just like from the start been like a huge bitch to him and just told him to fuck off. But again, it's hard when you're at work and like you might have to see this person again. It's just like, I don't know, it was just like not my gut reaction, or not my initial reaction to like be like, dude, leave me the fuck alone, you know? So I go, well, I just got into a relationship and I don't think he'd like me texting you. Like, 'cause someone like him, it's like he's so insecure and so easily triggered that I was thinking, well, I want to play it safe and like not trigger him further, you know? Like technically I had been talking to someone at that time. Dating is a bit of a stretch. Like I wouldn't say we were dating, nor were we exclusive, but I just felt like it was like a perfect excuse to be like, oh, like he wouldn't like me texting you, which also like not true. And I just walk off. Like I don't even wait to hear his response. I just walk off because I'm like, well, I gotta go. Like I'm working right now, and also like I've given you my answer. Like I don't want to like go back and forth on this. I guess when he was checking out after getting whatever he got from the grocery store, he starts ranting about me to one of the cashiers. And the reason why I know this is because I had a friend who worked at the florist department at the store, but she would also cashier sometimes if they were short. So she was cashiering and she overheard him, and I'm pretty sure he must have mentioned me by name, because like otherwise how would she know who he's talking about? But he was ranting about me. She also thought that he might have been drinking, like based on how he sounded when he was ranting, which I spoke to him for like 30 seconds, so I couldn't say for sure if he was drinking or not. I didn't get those vibes, but she seemed to think that he was. So yeah, I guess he started ranting about me to the cashier, saying that I had led him on and that I had lied to him. And I'm assuming when he says led him on, he means that I accepted his lily and gave him my number, and that I had lied to him because I had told him that I wasn't ready for a relationship and now I'm dating someone. So I'd lied to him. And he's like ranting about me, like angry. And so she comes out to tell me. And when she told me that, I was like, okay, my new resolution, like I thought this to myself. I was like, my new resolution with this guy is I'm like done being nice. I feel like no matter what I say to him, I can't win. Like he's always going to get upset about something. He's clearly unstable. Like I am just like, if he speaks to me, like, for example, if I could redo that situation where he says, "Sup, Casper," and like pops out of the aisle, I would just walk right by him. I would just ignore him. And so that was my resolution, is like, even if I'm working, like give him nothing. I didn't have to wait long to act on that resolution, because like the next week, which I don't know if he came by because he was embarrassed, like how he acted, because like I said, I hadn't seen him at the coffee stand. He hadn't gotten coffee from me in months. Like I hadn't seen him at all. So I feel like he maybe was like embarrassed about how he acted and was like trying to like suss out how like irritated I was or something. So he again comes like right when I'm leaving my shift. So it's like I'm counting down the till. When you're an opener, you have a closer that comes on for you, obviously. And so I'm counting down the till, but she's like the person who makes the drinks while I'm like stocking and like counting down the till and stuff. And he comes up and he goes, "Hey, Megan," like all cheery, just like a fucking fraud and a phony. Like he's fake. He's so fake. I'm like, you were just talking shit about me like hardcore last week and now you want to come up and act like we're friends? No. And so I again was cold. Like I said, I was going to be to myself, like my resolution. I was like, I'm really busy right now. So I'm going to have whoever was working, I'm going to have her make your drink if you don't mind. And he goes, "Actually, I do mind." And then he storms off, like actually mad. Like he's pissed. He's unwell, mentally unwell. And that was like pretty much the end of it though. Like, so I probably should have been a bitch the whole time because that was enough for him to like leave me alone. I mean, he has come and got coffee probably like twice since then. And he tries to do the whole, like he's one of those guys where he's like, he's going to put on a nice guy face even though he probably like beats his dog. Like that's the energy he gives. Like he beats his dog, but in public he's gonna be nice, you know? It's always like, "How's your day?" Like when he would come get coffee, "How's your day? How are you?" And I'd just be like, "Good." And then I hadn't seen him until he came by with that girl. It was like last weekend I was working and he came by with her. And I'm pretty sure that it was like a first or second date, which was weird because it was like 9 a.m. So I don't know who goes on a first date at that early, but it sounded like it was a first date because he was explaining to her that like that's his grocery store and this is where he goes grocery shopping, which I feel like you wouldn't explain to someone that you've been dating for a while. So, and I also just can't imagine any girl dating him for like a long time. Like he probably goes on a lot of first dates and then like not a lot of second ones. And I wanted to be like, "Girl, don't do it." But that would have made me look crazy and would have just reignited the feud me and him had. So I just kept quiet and made their drinks, and I'm sure she'll figure it out sooner rather than later. But yeah, so that's my customer service story. One of them. Like I said, I have like 3 or 4 more that I could share. So if you guys liked this story, I can share more of them. I can also share more like dating stories because I have dated quite a bit in the past like 5 years or so since I stopped filming. Like, if you guys just like this kind of chill story time vibe, I'm happy to do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you end up trying to make the cheesecake or the pasta, let me know. I think they're both worth it. They're both relatively easy to make. Like the cheesecake takes a while because you have to let it sit overnight, but they're both like foolproof. I feel like if you just follow the instructions, it's gonna turn out. Like it's not hard. So if you end up making it, let me know if you like it, and I hope you like this video, and I will just see you guys in a few weeks when I film again. Okay, bye.